what about the mood of his team? I would think it would still be pretty loose. I don't know if you had a chance to be around them much at all, but I pretty good being 2-2.
I think so. I mean, really, for the Leafs at this point, they're just looking at it as a real chance to do this now. I think that they, obviously they expressed belief before the series went, but they're much like us, and that they couldn't be totally sure how they would stack up over 4, 5, 6 games, potentially 7 games in the series with the best team in the league, and they feel as though they've proven something to themselves. They weren't happy with the way the first 40 minutes of Game 4 went, which was the most dominant stretch either way of this series, the way Washington controlled the puck and was able to generate shot attempts and really keep the Leafs almost entirely ineffective offensively while putting them on their heels defensively and building a pretty big lead. But, I sense that the Leafs are still fairly confident. We'll see how things go here. But when you get down to you only have to win 2 out of 3 either way, whether you're the Capitals or the Leafs, I mean, you have to like that opportunity. And I still think that they're sort of embracing this idea of them being a pressure-free underdog at this stage.
Chris, not much more we can learn about this edition of the Washington Capitals. They've kind of been the same team for a couple of years now. But one of the more interesting things about the Maple Leafs this year is game in and game out and week in and month out, we're learning more about this team. Is one of the more interesting things about Toronto what we're learning about the defense, even though they don't have, the big horse, they don't have Erik Karlsson back there, they don't have anyone like that. This is a pretty mobile and effective defense. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And I think to some degree it's been that way all season and certainly didn't get much credit for it. It's an area that whenever the Leafs come up with the one topic, well, everything's good, but they got to fix that defense. I mean, it looks to me like maybe there's less fixing needed than originally thought. I mean, certainly you would think they want to add one, guy that can play fairly high up pretty soon, possibly maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
But Morgan Riley's had a great series, I think, and playing on his offside, which is not an easy thing to do after really not doing it throughout the season. Jake Gardner's handled his minutes well and been playing a lot, and even with some injuries, missing his Nikita Zaitsev for the first 2 games and then losing Roman Polak, that they've managed to get through it fairly well. So the key when you have this many offensive players, as the Leafs do at forward, is getting the puck in their hands and trying to clear your zone as quickly as possible and let Austin Matthews and William Nylander and Nazem Kadri and these type of guys break the game open. And there have certainly been stretches in the series where you've seen that. I mean, the third period of the last game, Toronto was all over them. The third period of the game before, prior to scoring the overtime winner in Game 3, they absolutely swarmed the Capitals, and I think a lot of that comes from having a strong transition game with some of those defensemen.